My name is Neveen. I'm a junior at the University of South Florida, and I'm majoring in international relations and political science with a minor in linguistics.
Okay. Question 1. What is your opinion about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and why?
My opinion is that the conflict is always kind of misunderstood by the majority of the people out there for several reasons. Lack of proper media outlets to both sides without bias. And for me personally, for my ideals on the conflict and its solution, I am a one-stater for several reasons. I believe that in this day and age, there really should be no reason why people shouldn't integrate, especially people who share similar ideas and beliefs, especially religious, whether they know it or not. I believe that integration will lead ultimately to a decrease of bloodshed than a two-state solution. I believe the only way to actually solve hatred and division within the land of Israel or Palestine, whichever you wish to call it, is to actually fully integrate people together so they can learn from one another. The one-state solution not only allows Israelis to remain in the land, but also allows all the Palestinians who were refugeed over the several wars that took place to come back and live side by side as they wish. And I understand that also many people do see that it's unfair because they say that there is, of course, if all the Palestinian population returns to Palestine, there will be an imbalance under parliament if they do institute a parliament, such as in South Africa. But that's what democracy is.
Why has it been such a controversial issue for so long?
I believe that it's been very controversial because many people have a problem pointing the finger to who is right and who is wrong. It's not really a question of who is right or who is wrong. It's what's right with the decision to do now. Many people sympathize with the Holocaust, as do I, and kind of are blind toward, this sympathy toward a large group of people in the world and don't realize that the same Holocaust is being committed on indigenous people in Palestine. So many people, question themselves, is this right, is this wrong? Many people are very neutral and don't really know what is right or wrong because they do not have that proper media outlet to, gain information from. So there's a lot of sources. There's educated people also who sometimes don't know what they are also saying and haven't really studied the conflict or have even been there. Many people, don't have the chance to go to see for themselves. So it's a combination of different variables that, end up being a big problem to why, it's so controversial.
What is the world's role in creating a solution?
I believe that the most important thing the world should do to help solve the solution is to remain into an act of neutrality, especially when it comes to regards to the United States. George Washington did say and advise many of his, fellow revolutionaries whenever America is instituted as a government to follow this act of neutrality because, choosing alliances does pinpoint you against other nations and it does become increasingly tense. So.
How is religion a factor in the conflict? Are there any religious doctrines that spur the conflict?
I believe that religion is actually a mask toward the whole controversy in Israel and Palestine. Basically, for me, I'm not going to say that religion is the main reason, because as we do know, that it's, of course, greed, wealth, politics, all of that. But religion is a catalyst. It is sometimes a motive, especially when it comes to the masses. I mean, there is Hamas, which are, supposedly militant Islamists, jihadists, whatever you wish to call them. To most Muslims, you'll find that they don't really accept their ideologies. And you also have what are the Israeli IDF, Israeli Defense Forces. They have special rabbis that actually do read Torah scripts over soldiers before they go into battle. So it's not a main reason, but it's a motive for many of the masses that are, caught in the fire of the controversy.
So in the end, whether it's a one-state solution or a two-state solution, who or what happens to Jerusalem?
For me, well, either way, I believe that even if it's a two-state solution or a one-state, Jerusalem will stay as an international city, open not just to all people of the three monotheistic Abrahamic faiths, but to even Hindus, Zoroastrians, people who really don't have any religious belief in the city of Jerusalem, but just wish to come. It should just be open, and, because it's always what it was. So.
Do you have any final comments?
Yeah, actually I do. I have a final comment. not just about the Israeli-Palestinian issue, but in all issues in general, whether, Kashmir, Darfur. I think it's very important as youth that we, liberate ourselves, especially when it comes to our ways of thinking, what we're conditioned to believe, go see alternative media outlets, talk to different, educated people's professors, get a different idea of things than what you are constantly being told. Always kind of like counter what you're always been taught, even if it's something that's kind of dubbed like, undemocratic or maybe too liberal or too conservative, whatever it is, always question what's always given to you. So, and understand things, because that is what increases your knowledge. So.
All right, thank you for your time.